Alrighty. So today we're back playing some more Tropico 6 and we're moving on to the next mission in our Tropico 6 100% series. Today's mission, we're moving on to Superpower Defense. With tons of weapons to sell, but nobody to sell them to, the broker convinces El Presidente to insult and start wars with modern superpowers to cash in on arms sales. If Tropico successfully withstands their potential, or much more likely, retaliation strikes. Okay, cool. So, of course, we're playing on the hard difficulty, and we get to start in the modern times era, which is pretty nice, and the mission focus is warfare. So, let's get into it.
Though throughout your career, you were the fairest of leaders, Presidente. Even you made enemies. I know, the fools. They do not see what I see. But what many aspiring autocrats overlook is that making enemies has great potential for profit, given the sensible precaution of fortifying one's islands, of course. This is very much next-level despotism, most trend-setting Presidente. Let us remember the time when you insulted the entire world.
Presidente! Hey, how's your global standing these days, huh? Any world powers sniffing around for weapons of mass destruction?
Let me get to the point. I've got weapons to sell, you've got enemies who want to shoot at you, put it all together, and we're sitting on the business opportunity of the century. Know what I'm saying? And you'll be perfectly safe, given that you bulk up your defenses anyhow. Cool. So we need to build a total of 3 additional military buildings, and have a total of 36 soldiers, and then we get one of these rewards here. Interesting.
Time is precious, President.
And in terms of voting rights, probably leave that on all citizens vote. For the armed forces, probably go with professional soldiers. Ecology, let's do economy first, I'm thinking. Separation of powers, let's do official separation, seems fine. Personal rights, let's go with privacy rights. And then for healthcare, let's do paid healthcare just for the efficiency bonus of 20% to clinics and hospitals. And I think that is good. Now, that is going to require us to bump up the budget on all of our power plants. We have 2 of them, which is pretty interesting. And everything else is looking pretty alright. I'm not sure how I feel about all of this, but what I am kind of thinking is, for this mission, I don't think that I'm going to do a bunch of reorganizing and stuff. It does make it a lot more efficient, but I think that we'll just check out how it is just going forward as is. See what we think about it. We have Fisherman's Wharfs. Let's bump up their budgets. 2 of them. And we have a Teamsters port here. Interesting. A tenement. An automated mine. So this is interestingly not linked up to the road system. So people need to get on a boat and boat over here. Maybe we can do something about that with time. And we have this weird little alcove thing and an oil rig. Interesting. Let's bump up the budget on that. There's a parking deck here. Cool. Which doesn't make sense because these guys aren't going to be getting paid a rich wage. So this parking deck pretty much does nothing. Let's demolish it then. Okay. Something I think that's pretty important early on is to check out what resources you have access to mine. So what I'm kind of thinking is, what if we, first off, let's see, we have a lot of unemployed people. What if we just simply go forth and start mining up literally all the resources that we can get our hands on? I feel like that's going to be sort of the move for us. There we go. And I like the way that looks. Cool. So interesting. Let's set up even more mines then. Actually quick build these just so we can start getting people into their new jobs right away. Let's bump up the budgets on those and let's see. So we need roughly 30 more jobs. So before we build any military buildings, I think it's going to be rather quite important that we get our hands on all of these resources. So I believe almost all of these resources are being tapped into. Let's make sure that we get all of them. Quick build. Max out the budget. And let's see there. So we need, what, 27 more, I think? 27 instant access to this iron mine. Let's do 2 iron mines here. Let's do a coal mine there. Quick build all of that on up. Max out the budgets. Getting pretty close. So now, in terms of resources we're getting, what do we got here? Gold, coal, gold.
We have word from the palace officially denying that there are any plans to genetically engineer more compliant citizens. How reassuring.
Cool. So we're not getting any nickel yet. And I think that's going to be pretty important because I do want to make weapons considering the fact that we are making like a militant island. And luckily for us, there's 2 nickel mines here. Let's just link that all up. Cool. And if we quick build these, and I think that should be enough jobs for everyone. Almost. Max out the budgets. And let's do... I'm kind of thinking these 3 mines here. Can link all of them up with a road like that. Cool. Oh, thought I did that right. And just like that. I like that. So now we just gotta make sure that all of our mines are linked up. Not forgetting about anything. And with time we'll get into setting up more of those. Now we just want to make sure that our Teamsters offices can handle all of this. Let's go ahead and just build up 1 more for now. Kind of thinking over here could be a cool spot. I don't want to do too much reorganizing at least. We could set up 2 here. I feel like that'll kind of look good. Go ahead and quick build those on up. Now, we need to build a waste treatment facility.
This angry. It really ruins my mellow.
The environmentalists are getting pretty upset that we're doing all of this, but that should be okay. We can leave the barracks on that budget there. And for this mission, we set up a pretty cool looking palace, which I think looks nice and militant. Very cool stuff. I did check out this mission a little bit previously, and I realized that I made some pretty tremendous mistakes, so going back through and attempting it one more time. Hopefully, like the biggest mistake that I made was I didn't link up my mines, gonna be honest. Let's go ahead and max out the budget on that, max out the budget here, max out the budget there, do this and that. Still giving us a service quality of 97, which is good. Let's max out the budget here. The research lab, we can knock this down to the lowest budget. Still giving a well-off wage, but we're not spending too much money. The high school, let's do that. And what I want to do is actually research the high school. Because what I do want to do is do a bit more propaganda. We haven't really done propaganda in the past couple of episodes. And by doing propaganda, we'll be able to push everyone towards the militant faction. And I think that'll be nice. Let's go with our bank, max out the budget there. And everything else I think is looking alright. Let's bring the budget down here for now. Let's take this down one step. Leave the police blimp. Let's max out the budget on the fish farm so we get a well-off wage. Let's also actually go to research. Let's get rid of the high school, and we'll do that next. Let's do child allowances, employee of the month, and then the high school, I think. Reason being, child allowances will allow us to have more and more people in the well-off wage, which is pretty good. On top of that, going with employee of the month means that all of our miners are going to be mining up just that much more resources for us, which of course is good. Factory ranch, bump that budget up. Working deck, we'll take that up a notch. Chocolate factory will lower once. Steel mill, lower ones, yes. Stadium, max out the budget on that. VIP Tribune increases fee by $2, job quality, and the service quality by 5 points, but it's already at 100, so we'll leave it as is. I'm thinking that I like the way this is all looking. I don't think that there's much else we need to do. Drag down the palace, drag down the palace once, bump up the watchtowers, and I think that there's pretty much nothing else we can do. We have guard towers over here, we'll max out their budgets as well. Cool. So we're going to need to do something about this. We could build a waste treatment facility. Let's see how much that cost. I mean, it's only 12K. We could do it. Maybe we will. Why not? Let's put it in like a little residential, not residential, but let's put it in an industrial zone. Let's move you back one step. So that we can even out these roads. Cool. So this building does reach all of this, bringing down pollution in this area, and I think it would be a good idea to build all of our industrial endeavors out here. Cool. I do want to sort of see how far up we can go. So here. To there, then there. Okay, we'll have this nice big square for a bunch of industrial stuff. So everything in here is fair game. So just need to remember that. Waste treatment facility should get built up within the next 2 years. And we have plenty of jobs for everyone. And we just need to start pushing everyone towards the... whatchamacallit, correct faction. But before that, it's going to be important that we get our economy nice and strong. We'll let these mines just get constructed. And what we want to do is go to edicts and turn on child allowances. The sooner we get this leveled up, the more money we'll save. And let's do no free lunch.
It may be a
Cool. In terms of wealth, we want everyone to be in the well-off bracket. So let's start looking at these people. So the biggest issue is that they're all unemployed, I think. I don't think that there's too many other things that would be dragging them down. We got employee of the month. Let's go ahead and turn that on. The sooner we get that rolling, the sooner that it'll get cheaper for us. So that is all good, good, good.
Hey there, Prez. How's it hanging? You called? The broker. Oh, yeah, sure. Me and the broker, we go way back.
You know, I thought I saw his sticky little fingerprints on this game. So what? You want me to expedite some sales from your own weapons factories without him knowing? Sure. Like I say, we go way back, and I know he respects dishonest competition, so we need to have 2 weapons factories, and we need to produce 2,000 weapons, and we'll get a new export weapons trade route with smugglers, so potentially pretty good. Let's give that a bit of time. Yeah, we'll give it a bit of time. Probably want to start saving up a bit of money here. We want the entire population to become employed, and then we want them to have housing. And we also want them to all be in the well-off bracket. So let's control-click here, make sure that all of our mines are giving a well-off wage. And yes, we definitely want a lot of people to become high school educated as well. Let's get interactive education, that seems good. Bringing our efficiency back up to 116, even on a lower budget, that's good. Let's actually put you on a high priority. I'd rather you get done first. Juicery. We can quick build it if things get a bit dicey. 14,000 coming in there. Let's bump up all of our Teamsters by 1 budget just to make sure that first off people want to work there. Second off, that they're being paid enough to ensure that they're doing a good job. That'd be pretty important. You can get more guards, but not the most important of things. The Fisherman's Wharfs, I don't really like it because a lot of these people are going to be poor just because that's how it's going to work for them. They're only getting paid a wage of only $7 a month, even on the maximum budget here. So potentially it'll be better for us to switch over completely to fish farms in the future. Yes, that'll definitely be bigger. Or I read bigger. It'll definitely be better. Okay. So now, I do want to ensure that we stay, like, definitely way above, like, having no money, way above the negative. And in doing so, we'll just stay out of trouble. And on top of that, it'll kind of give us a buffer zone from danger, right? From running into the negative and then not being able to get yourself out. Very, very basic sort of stuff. It looks like we're almost losing 10,000 a month. So let's go and check in on expenses. Construction upkeep 20,000 over 12 months though. Wages 27,000. The 2 power plants are bankers, but how much is the revenue from the bank? Interest 9,000. So we're making money off of the bank. Maybe it'd be a good idea to get another bank down. There we go. So it's pretty important every like monthly wage that we're making, or just like the difference in how much money we have between the months. Definitely want to keep an eye on that. Let's lower the budget on our apartments, make a little more rent money. Oh, it looked like we only lost like 3,000 there. That's good. So with like 5 banks in total, we would be ultimately netting profit. So banks can be very, very helpful. We only have a high school right now though. They're getting the waste treatment facility done, that's good. Coal in, iron in, and we just want to make sure that all of our plantations and mines and stuff can adequately get their stuff out.
You put the earth first and...
We'll take the $5,000. Let's look for any good trade deals. I'm not sure who it's going to be a good idea to trade with, but if we find something interesting, then we might just do that. Can import cheese and corn and iron and milk and oil and steel. You know what would probably be a better idea? What if we research next up the Caribbean Trade Pact Association? This is, I always mention it, one of the best edicts in the game, because what it's going to do is give you, I think, 3 or 4 trade routes that are imports, but it's coming from people in the Caribbean countries, right? So you got like Mexico and let's go have a look-sees. We have stuff like Mexico, Venezuela, the Dominican Republic, all of these different countries. I think is it only 3? I thought it was more than just 3. It might just be these 3. Yeah, I think it is just these 3. So we get a total of 3 imports that are going to be really good, right? And in getting these imports, we're going to be able to either process what they're importing or giving us, right? So like, let's say they give us something crazy like gold. We can turn that into jewelry, so we'll be importing cheap gold, turning this gold, which already sells for a high price, into something even more expensive, and then potentially selling that for kind of a lot of money. So after we get the high school research, then we'll definitely do that. And what I do want to also do is set up I want to set up a customs office, right? Because that's just going to help our trade quite a fair bit. And then I also want to set up offices would be really nice, but we're going to need a college for that. And we're not going to want to do any tourism because all the tourists are going to get scared off when any wars happen. But what I do want to do is a newspaper. So let's check around. What are we looking like here? You know, it's going to be a perfect spot, I would say. Somewhere around here. Ooh, there's lots of space here. Let's do this here. And then what we can do is, I think a radio station would be nice. Cool. So now we have this nice little plaza. Let's look into what kind of parks we can build around. Put a 1x1 here, we can. And then a 2x3 here. I think that looks fine. Cool. So 2 media buildings. We're going to want to research those. So you know what? Let's turn both of these off. Let's go and get ourselves the newspaper radio station. And then go back to the other 2, which is going to be the high school and Caribbean Trade Pact Association. So we got all sorts of stuff queued up here. And this is Definitely not my favorite way to go about building buildings. I mean, I guess it does look kind of cool. Having like this little alleyway that you can walk through, and then there's like a cinema here. That does actually look kind of cool. I do actually like this. Interesting. Let's look at the money we're making. Around 10,000 off of just the oil exports, which is good. Can do camera surveillance. Kind of expensive though. And I do want to get, what's it called? I do want to get free wheels because it will mean that all the miners out here will be making enough money to be able to drive around. And that would have actually made this parking deck over here worthwhile. But parking decks are pretty cheap, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's see, now that we got the newspaper, once this is finished constructing on up, I want to switch all of this over to the militarist faction. That's going to be like a big thing for us, I'd say. We're starting to get lots of people moved in, fair bit of jobs for them. Good, good, good. For the police blimp, let's do a patrol. Let's do maybe like that. So it'll just hopefully do like a big old circle, decreasing or increasing crime safety as it cruises over this area here. And you know what, let's actually do camera surveillance. Probably be a bit helpful. The juicer's still not getting any goods in, which is kind of annoying. I also hate this, so let's go ahead and change that to be a normal square like this. It just makes things work a lot better amongst your build. A bunch of fish being sold. We're not even making as much money as the fish. Like, we're selling these fish for less than $1 each. That's a bit worrying. We are out of electricity, so let's bump up. Oh, we didn't need to. Cool. Invest knowledge. The knowledge generation rate is decreased by 75%. While the building is fully staffed, the efficiency of each office is increased by 0.1 on a medium budget. Accumulated up to a cap of 3. Research complete is the high school. We get the high school. Let's change this to Gunny. We don't need to max out the budget. Let's just leave it on 12 for now. The high school can be switched over to military education. So now we should really be swinging a lot of people from the religious faction towards the militarist faction. And that's going to be very good for us as time goes on. Because what I do want to do is actually turn on the edict. Martial law. Cancels scheduled elections and prevents elections while active. Cool, so just don't gotta worry about elections. Decreasing the personal experience of each eligible voter by 15, so they're all gonna hate us. Decreases liberty by 30, which is the biggest liberty penalty hit, I think, besides potentially total surveillance. Yeah, total surveillance is not even that bad. So it really decreases liberty, drastically increasing the possibility of people becoming rebels. Increases the chances of citizens becoming rebels by another 15%. Decreases all tourist ratings, don't really care about that. Increases militarist standing by 30, which is pretty good. And decreases standing with all other factions by 15. So every single other faction, all 7 of these, is going to take a 15-point hit. But that's fine. Should be okay with that. Maybe we can push people towards factions that we do like and then do what we need to do to keep those factions happy, right? So push people towards the capitalist faction and make the capitalists happy. Push people towards the industrialist faction, keep the industrialists happy. And then same thing with the conservatives. Could all be very well and good. How much money here? Not much. Let's just turn on, let's get free wheels next, honestly. Let's get rid of you and then do you next. Cool. So I'm liking where we're at. Gunny, we're affecting most of the population, so I think we might sort of, with time, move a lot of these buildings out of here and make this just like a residential zone. I think that'll be good. Or we can just honestly build more newspapers. I don't know why I'm thinking that we need to make this strictly a residential zone. 31,000 from the freighter, that's good. National Bank, yeah, we definitely want the bank to have a lot of money for investments. So let our money build up. Let's play in ×4 speed. We're just waiting here. Let's change this to honor and guns. So now we have 2 media buildings affecting most of the island and pushing all of these people towards the militarist faction.
Security isn't just a word, Presidente. I need your help to make sure Tropico is secure from everything.
Cool. So we need to modernize 2 apartments. We can do that with time. Potentially these 2 here. Probably a good idea. Weapons factories, build military buildings. We definitely want to be... I want to be at least like above 100,000. Like comfortably above 100,000. I say this a lot. And then usually by the time I make it above 100,000 I like quickly blow all the money. But I think it's going to be too important for us to be above 100,000. Just so that our banks are consistently making good money for us. We already have a pretty decent support, which is good. Overall happiness is climbing. And people are being pushed towards the militarist faction. Professional soldiers makes them happy. Could probably do a couple of edicts to make them even more happy. Something like military police could be good. Each military building reduces crime, just like police stations. Employees in military buildings arrest criminals, increases the liberty penalty of military buildings by 40%, which I actually kind of did a test on this, and I don't think that's nearly as bad. Increases militarist standing by 10, increases conservative standing by 5. Cool, so both the militarist and the conservatives like it, and no one else should really have a problem with it. That'll be good. Right to arms I think will be good because it decreases militarist standing by a huge chunk, but it increases liberty by quite a bit. Military squads deal 10% more damage, which is good. Industrialists like it, capitalists like it. Both 2 factions that we do want to support. Cool. Bells to bullets potentially could be a good idea. Increases the hit points and damage of military squads by 10%. I always forget about that one. Decreases religious standing by 30 though. Increases militarist standing by 10. Maybe we don't want to make any factions too upset though, so I have to give that a bit of time. I don't really think that there's too much else that we need to do. Good old days could be kind of good. Increases religious standing by 10. Decreases in intellectual standing by 15. National Day, religious standing hates this, or the religious faction hates this. Modern times, I don't think that there's anything militant about this one. So no, just military police and martial law. I think those are going to be the ones that we're going with. Cool. Making some good money. On top of that, everyone's driving now, as you can see. Like, there's just like a lot more vehicles on our roads, which is good. Everyone's just going to be able to move around a whole lot quicker. Which, of course, is a very, very good thing for us. Oh, we didn't even have free wills active. Let's activate it then. We're probably going to lose a fair bit of money over time with this, but it'll be okay because once it gets cheaper, that'll be a good thing. On top of that, it's just going to drastically increase the efficiency of the entire island. So that's all good. And we don't really want any residential buildings built too far away. Let's actually go down here. And let's build a quick road going this way. And let's demolish
The
this.
planet is in grave danger, Presidente. Surely the goddess needs us to save her.
These buildings, all of these buildings have road access, so we don't need to build a new parking deck down here. Going to or from work, they'll just drive a car, I believe. Yeah, they should. Cool. Things are looking really good for us. Low rebel threat, which isn't great. So maybe the very next thing that we need to research is not you, but let's actually get the right to arms. And then we'll try and do this one. Right to arms will be good because it'll drastically increase liberty, which in certain areas, actually liberty's good everywhere. Like no matter where you are, liberty's fine. So I'm not sure why we have low rebel threat, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. How is our wages doing is my question. Most of the people are well off, that's good. 13,000 coming in decent. We should get, yeah, right to arms right there. Go ahead and, well, does this cost money every month? No, it just costs an upfront amount of money. Cool. So there's that. And I believe as this edict levels up, the liberty increase, the liberty buff is going to go up, so that'll be good. And so now let's just hang out in ×4 until we have enough money. Free will's leveled up, that should make it a fair bit cheaper, so decreases the cost by $100 per month, which is $1,200 a year. Definitely nothing too bad. Sugar, do we not have sugar production on the island? I thought we did, so let's change this to dark chocolate then. Not sure why that we don't have sugar, that's kind of a shame.
Peace must be earned through superior firepower.
I don't want to make the religious faction too upset. Let's see what they're at. Oh, it was only at 42, we could have left it. The militarists are really upset, the right to arms made them quite upset. So let's next do... Let's get military police then. Turn you off again. Let's get military police. And then we'll try and do that. Military police. Let's turn that on. I didn't even check how much money that cost. Police and military. Cool. So now the religious or the military faction shouldn't be too upset with us. Edict modifiers are at a -5, but then the constitution modifiers are at a +10. So we're looking at +5. Miscellaneous, they're demands, but that's fine. So on average, it should even out to 55. So that's pretty good for us. Let's quickly check what everyone's looking like. +5 there. +7 there. I think this is just -5, right? Yeah, -5. Communists are kind of like whatever. They're actually pretty happy with us. The capitalists should be kind of happy with us. They don't like free wills, but they do like the right to arms and no free lunch, so it's all equaling out. So we're keeping everyone relatively happy and things are looking good for us. Ambulance treatments working wonders for our population. I believe it's about time that we get more jobs, yeah. So, a high school and a college educated person. Let's consider what new jobs we want to get. Can we build more mines? We can build mines here. We could come over here and get this uranium as well. I think this will be a good spot. Let's build up 2 aluminum and 2 nickel. And then we're going to need a tunnel connection through this. And of course connect it all on up with roads. Quick build on 2 of those. It should be not quite enough jobs. Max out the budgets. Cool. Did we ever turn on? We did turn on Employee of the Month. That's really cool. Military police. Oh, we didn't even activate this yet. So let's go ahead and... Oh no. We did. I'm not sure what that was.
What use is power if you don't exercise it?
So we want to save up to where we're comfortably over 100,000. And then at that point we want to set up 2 weapons factories. And then some military buildings are going to be pretty important, I reckon. Nice, cool, 47,000. And it looks like we're making some pretty good money. Yeah, it was like around this time on the last attempt that I made at this, I tried reorganizing everything way too much. I spent all my money. And then it was just like, I just made nothing but like bad ideas. I even went over here and destroyed the oil rig, which was probably a pretty dumb idea. And we were just like hemorrhaging money, way in the negative, and things were not looking good. But it turns out we're doing pretty alright for this one. A real machine gun.
Presidente, you must have heard the phrase, for science.
This is a pretty cool looking... That's actually really cool looking. Alrighty. So, let's go ahead and try and get into the point. I kind of do want to finish these two objectives here before the end of our first episode, so I do want to let our money build up as much as possible. Let's start by making sure that none of our buildings are too overstocked. Looks like the corn there is a bit overstocked. Caribbean Trade Pact Association finally went through, which is a good thing. Bunch of stuff there. Oh yeah, we need more Teamsters. Let's go ahead and construct one for now. And we'll give it a bit of time before we start building up more. I think, well, we'll do two. We'll do two right there. We're not going to quick build them because we do want to save up money. Getting really close to the 100,000 mark, which is a very good sign for us. So because we're waiting for that, we're going to have to leave these people without jobs, which kind of sucks. Bump up the budget on all of these. Rebel threat decreased to none, that's good. Probably because we increased liberty all over the entire island. So we're getting at least 73, and then once you start making it towards our propaganda buildings, it goes up a bit, which is cool. And a couple more jobs there. Ooh, nice. So employee of the month, no. Free wheels I think is maxed out. Perfect. So $750 a month. That's a lot of money, but I mean, one single bank is pretty much paying for it, right? So the bank is paying for everyone's vehicles, all the investments that we're making with our banks. So the bank is pretty much giving everyone vehicles to drive around and make the island tons more efficient, which is really nice. And we're over 120 or over 100,000. Perfect. So now that we're at this point, let's first off try and get everyone with jobs. And what I do want to do is let's save up even more. We'll try and save up like another 30,000 and then build our first weapons factory. I think that'll be a good move. There we go. We're making lots and lots of money. That's a really good sign. Let's go and check in on some of our buildings over here. 1,700 iron there, which isn't great. The oil's probably all right. We can turn these Teamsters port in like into job slots by just putting some deckhand upgrades on them, which could be very, very good. Gold, iron here. I need even more Teamsters, not gonna lie. 70,000, Jesus. Cool, okay, so now we're way over the limit. That's perfect, that's what we want to see. Let's set up 2 weapons factories then. Kind of thinking, what if we do one here? We can put something else there. For now, let's do... I suppose we can do... Ooh, look at this spot. I guess this is alright. Yeah, that's actually perfect, I think. Because then we can just throw in like something real simple like a park right here. And what we can actually do is let's cancel the construction of these. Because if you do the industrialization edict, it costs $10,000, but if you end up saving more than $10,000, then it's ultimately a net positive. And how you figure out how much money you're saving is divide the cost of each industry building by 2, right? So let's look at a weapons factory. So divide that by 2, that's 9,000, times 2 is 18,000. So we're saving 18,000 off just the edict alone. Wait. No. Yeah, we're saving 18,000, but minus the upfront cost of 10,000, so it's ultimately saving us 8,000 ducats. And then, what's this, another 4,500? So that's like $12,000 we'll be saving off a weapons factory, or 2 weapons factories, and a steel mill. So let's go ahead and set this all back up now, I believe, right? Did we? No, we didn't turn the edict on. So, these went from 18 down to 9,000, so good. And then we can do the other one here, and then let's do a steel mill. Kind of thinking here would be a good spot. This does reach over here to our weapons factory, the waste treatment facility. That's good. We should research this so that we can get refuse incineration, which will start giving us some electricity per building affected, which would be really nice. Okay. So now we just need a road going from here to there, I think, by work. Cool. It's also all sorts of really neat things. Make sure that we have a road there. Go Go back into ×4 speed. And I do want to set up another bank, and we probably even want to get a college down at some point. 31 graduates from the high school. Yeah, college. How much is that gonna cost us is the question. 3,000 and then another 12,000. So we'll wait for the next chunk of money and see how much we're making. 8,000 there. Let's actually increase the budget of all of our steel mills, produce more steel. We might even do hot rolling, increases efficiency by 20, upkeep by 20. Electric arc furnace decreases the coal consumption by 50%. Building requires 80 megawatts of electricity. Potentially we can do that. Weapons factory going up, another 40k there. Very, very good. We'll have the 2 weapons factories for this. And let's go ahead and build up some barracks is what I'm thinking. Now that we're making some good money, we can use these as police stations as well. So if we want to decrease crime in an area, just build some more barracks around. Crime's probably not going to be that much of an issue here, but we do want to have a military presence over here probably. Go ahead and do that. Military police has reached level 2. Let's check out what that's giving us. Employees in military buildings arrest criminals. Liberty penalty is only 30% higher instead of the 40 that it initially was. And then I think, no, the military standing and the conservative standing doesn't change. So now all of our edicts are maxed out. That's really, really good for us. Employee of the month still has a bit of time to go. Nothing else that I'm seeing around here. Caribbean Trade Pact Association. I do want to get down a, what's it called? A customs office before we go about doing that though. And before we do that, I do want to set up a college, so we'll just give it a bit of time here. The steel mills, I want these both bumped up because what I want to do is I want to, ooh, nice, refuse incineration. Let's see how much electricity we have. 48 spare megawatts. Let's change this to refuse incineration, and nice, it's giving us 85 from one building that is serving a dual purpose. It's also decreasing pollution in this entire area. That's amazing. We should build another one up around like the living quarters. Oh, we don't have, oh, we do have a, what's it called? We can just demolish this shack, honestly. Don't need that. Population wise, we need more homes, so let's go ahead and electrify this and modernize it. Cool. Decrease the budget on all of these. We should get solar panel windows for all of these, 12,000, but that's going to end up saving us a whole lot of like electricity, so that's really huge.
Great work, Presidente. We flooded the market with substandard weapons, so everyone's a winner.
Substandard weapons. I did wonder, however, if you had any plans to end this unrest. It's great for a quick cash grab, but it'll be counterproductive to healthy capitalism in the long run. Healthy economies need living people to fuel them, Presidente. Cool, so we get the new export weapons. Trade route with the smugglers. Cool, cool, cool. Interesting stuff. So let's look at what this export's looking like. How are the numbers on it? Weapons 30% up. That's good. So let's go ahead and unlock the customs office. And I do want to get that ASAP. The coal and stuff. So let's actually increase the budget of our steel mills to the maximum. And then let's bring this to hot rolling. So 156% efficiency is pretty gnarly. Ooh, a bunch of weapons are going out already. So this means that all of our coal and iron should be processed into steel. And now we just need to make sure that we have enough nickel. So 30, 72. And how much is each nickel mine giving us? Half of that. So we need a total of 4 nickel mines. And I'm not sure that we have that. Let's go looking around. We have 2 here. Then we have 1 there. And that's it. We need a nickel import. That would be huge to get from the Caribbean Trade Pact Association.
The citizens are demanding.
Let's deliver an amazing speech. Everyone really likes us. Just because we're doing things that are pretty good for everyone right now. Let's acknowledge the crime, safety, happiness. Let's support the militarist, of course. Promise nothing, blame no one.
They call me the... Do any of these offers look good to you? They're all strictly legitimate.
Let's quickly look at the politics of our island. So everyone's being pushed towards the militaries. That's actually really, really cool to see. Quite happy with that. Dark chocolate. So we are processing all of our cocoa, which is really nice. Let's demolish these two. Monoculture does mean that we're inevitably going to start cutting into our efficiency. I should have changed that probably from the very beginning, but it's okay. Industrialization's ended. And we need one more military building up and running. Let's get motorized infantry for all of these. Did I build a third? I thought I built a third military building, but perhaps I didn't. Yeah, I did build a third one. No, I only built two. And we need a third, so let's do another barracks. Oh no. No, I am mistaken here. We could build this one. Maybe we make like this area right here. Yeah, we'll make this area like a little militant quarter. I think that'll look nice. Kind of thinking these parks could look kind of snazzy. Let's quick build this just to start getting into the next mission objective.
Presidente, I gotta hand it to you. When you tool up, you take it seriously. Do I feel safe right now? Never felt safer.
Down to business. Due to some recent unpleasantness, I sat on enough ordnance to fight World War III. So I'll cut you in if you help create a seller's market. Know what I mean? Let's start some nice little international incidents together. Blueprint for the Defense HQ. We don't really need to research these considering the fact that we already did, so cool.
Okay, to sell my weapons, I need customers with fat wallets and a burning need to assert their global authority. Superpowers, Presidente.
So let's disrespect some world leaders. They declare war on you, I sell them guns, you get 20% sales value of each and every round. It's never been more fun to dodge bullets, so if we insult the EU first, which do you think will annoy them the most? Provoke the EU by selecting one of the following insults. I'm starting a new currency and wondered if any EU member states will join. Greece, Portugal, Ireland, Spain, Cyprus, any takers? If you want to send more weapon inspectors, please send T2 tailors. That last group just hit the Tropican rum, they were all blind drunk. I wanted to ask about joining the EU. I like to waste all my money on red tape while trying to please tedious bureaucratic windbags. I think that one's kind of funny.
I assembled a committee, Presidente, to investigate how annoying your insult was. Their findings should be with us soon.
Ah yes, much as I thought. We're barely upset at all, and find your insult to be predictable and lazy. Future insults should be submitted via the correct paperwork. Please take a form and leave. Okay.
Okay, Presidente, verbal insults just aren't working. Starting wars was just so much easier last century.
Action is what's required. I've got a plan to thoroughly bother the Middle East by rigging the price of oil. It'll cost you some of the black stuff, but we'll make it back for sure. So let's export cheap oil and crash the petroleum market. Interesting, so. Produce oil, we already are. Fulfill export trade route with the USA for oil. Easy peasy. So, I reckon it's giving us a terrible trade for it, but in the very least we can take the smallest volume, and just by completing that we'll be
When I took
in the
this
blue,
job, Presidente, you
in the
didn't
green.
say anything about actual fighting. I hardly think that's a job for a general.
I have an idea. If we had a big fort, I could hide in it. It would be best for our soldiers. Their morale is improved when I'm away from the battlefield or the training ground. Basically, the morale plummets when they see me. So build a fort. +5 military standing, research, bells to bullets. Interesting. So let's go ahead and accept that. And that should be pretty easy and pretty cheap. Yeah, like 5,000 ducats. Easy peasy. So we want this one to be here. Reason being is that we can give the arsenal upgrade to all nearby buildings. Let's increase the budget to the max. Let's have them man the ramparts. And then we can do the arsenal upgrade, which will increase efficiency of these buildings.
Thank you for the fort, Presidente. It is a little big, but I have made a room within it that is snug and safe.
but I can still keep an eye on the warlike antics of the soldiers, Presidente. They seem to be doing a superb job of confusing the enemy by appearing to be poorly trained and incapable. This is a ruse, of course. They do not merely appear to be poorly trained. Let's take the bells to bullets, I guess. Let's actually change this. Let's research the commando garrison, because we can change this to provide tactical insight, which will decrease the efficiency of the building, whatever, increases the hit points of all military squads by 20% on base efficiency. Perfect. And then we can increase the budget on this building. This is going to give our squads lots and lots of hit points. And then let's bump the budgets up on these. 101 efficiency. And then if we do the arsenal upgrade, let's do that now. We're getting 136% efficiency. That's huge. Very, very good. So what we'll do is any of the buildings that, any of the barracks that are away from our like main military base, we'll have them simply defend buildings, but these guys will send them to engage attackers, and hopefully that works out well. And I think things are looking pretty good. Now we gotta do is produce oil and save up a bit more money for some other useful endeavors. I was thinking college next. That's probably what we'll aim for. College and then a bank in the customs office. I don't want to do any trade deals with any superpowers because I'm not sure if we're going to be friends with them in the future, which means that we could potentially lose good trade deals, which wouldn't be ideal, of course. Both of our, what's it called, plantations are now into the 80%, which isn't great. So let's actually demolish both of them. And then let's do 2 hydroponic plantations. One for sugar, and then one for cocoa. And we can change this back to sweet chocolate. Cool. Let's bump up the budget on all of our hydroponic plantations, get their efficiencies up, and then we can even do almost free of nature, which will require 10 more megawatts, which I think is fine. Let's go ahead and research that. It'll cost 10 megawatts of electricity, but I think it increases the efficiency by 10 megawatts, which ultimately will be a pretty good thing. We're in the modern times, right? Textile mill. You have to wait all the way until the modern times to research this building? I did not know that. Hydroponic plantation. Perfect. So, yeah, 10% increase. And all it costs is 10 megawatts of electricity. So let's go and do that to all of them.
I'm sure the good citizens of Tropico intend to vote for you.
Allow everyone to vote freely. We have enough money for a new college, so let's set that up. Let's relocate this building, it's bugging me. Decreases upkeep by $5. Better to get that sooner rather than later. And we just need to start building up housing. That's like a big issue right now. Yeah, we got a lot of homeless families. And with just a couple of buildings placed, we should be able to get everyone fully housed, which will be ideal.
The election is a landslide, Presidente. The metaphorical kind, not the kind that accidentally reduces the size of the workforce.
So let's go ahead and build up. I'm thinking 2 new residential buildings, and I'm kind of thinking we do something kind of cool, and let's do this is what I'm thinking. Something like that, and then let's modernize this one.
Thanks for your help, Presidente.
Take the 5,000 back. Increase the budget on all of these. That's looking pretty good. Cool, so we completed that. We can do almost free of nature here as well. Good, good, good. Employee of the month's leveled up. I think initially it was 350, now it's down to 225, which is pretty nice. The college is up and running. Let's max out the budget there, just so that it's always working. Interactive education, considering the fact that we have almost enough electricity. Let's get the upgrade solar panel windows on all of the new buildings to ensure we have enough electricity for the foreseeable future. Let's max out the budget on the high school, ensuring that people get educated a little bit quicker. And I think we are doing pretty good. Let's max out the budget on the power plant as well. Good, 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 good. The chocolate factory should be able to manage all of the sugar and cocoa that we produce, hopefully. If we notice that it's like constantly full, we'll increase the budget. If we notice that it's running into issues, then we'll keep the budget where it is. Like right now. Ran into issues. That's fine. Same thing with the juicery. Cool. So now we don't need to worry about, what's it called? The stupid efficiency going down. Unemployed. Everyone's got a job. Let's look at wealth. Most of the people were well off. Fast food joint, a mine worker.
So good to see you.
His wife is unemployed.
So stressed.
A newspaper worker whose wife is unemployed. Let's increase the budget then. Is he still unemployed? He is.
Busy,
Wow.
busy.
Let's do that again then. Fisherman's wharfs. We should get rid of the fisherman's wharfs and go strictly into, what's it called? You can get rid of these guard towers, I think. Yeah, these workers need to walk forever, so let's do a parking deck here and quick build it. Max out the budget. We just made $100,000 off of one transaction. That's insane. So let's demolish these for sure. Demolish up these shacks down here. We don't even need this Teamsters port. Or this. Cool. Things are looking good. We should do the bank now. And our customs office. Let's actually demolish this road and make a straight road going out to like here. Before connecting it on up. Then we can do a new bank here. And then the customs office. Not there, I don't think. I do like this spot. That spot looks pretty good to me. Cool. Let's actually quick build this, max out its budget, so we can start getting some pretty good deals and whatnot. Let's go ahead and research it. I think it's here. I'm just going to hire in foreign workers so we can get it ASAP. Another 50,000. Very efficient island. I really like it. Cocoa inoculation. Let's get that. The sugar, we can get fiber fertilization, increasing the efficiency of all nearby plantations. That's good. We should build up a total of... How much electricity do we have? Spare megawatts. We have enough for 2 new hydroponic plantations. And I want to do 2 sugar plantations.
New genetically modified crops are a smash hit in the neighboring islands of the Pobreza Republic. Farmers say, we love paying for seed grain every year.
Quick build both these, max out their budgets. Almost free of nature, fiber fertilization. Now all of these are getting the fiber fertilization upgrades. So we're pushing 156 on each. That's really good. So now these 2 buildings shouldn't run into issues, hopefully. Producing corn so we can switch, or we can start building factory ranches, right? We can build probably like 2 of them. Start getting meat and milk, processing the milk into cheese, all sorts of really good jazz like that. Now we're producing oil, I think, way faster because any of the workers should be able to drive a car. Let's see if that's true. All I gotta do is find a worker on his way or coming home from work. So he's boating. Let's see if he goes into this parking deck and uses that. Perfect, look at that. Absolutely perfect. That's what we wanted to see. 54,000. Oh man, we're making so much money. It's kind of crazy. Oh, you know what? We're probably even gonna need more Teamsters, I reckon, soon. So let's build up, thinking 2 here. Quick build those 2. Let's just max out the budget on all of these, honestly. The wealth should be steadily increasing.
May I
Up
just squeeze my
barracks. Increase the budget on all of those.
Nice weather.
Automated mine, let's increase the budget on all of that.
Please excuse me.
Hydroponic plantations, we just need more jobs. That's like a big issue, I think. dragging everything down. Let's go ahead and do... Let's consider what we can do that'll be really good. Cannery. Pineapples. I think we're producing pineapples and fish. Right? Pineapples and fish. Let's go ahead and do that then. Cannery will be really good. All sorts of things. Let's go ahead and throw it here. Quick build that. Max out the budget. We need more electricity. Let's build a nuclear power plant. We're rolling in so much money that we should be able to afford this. No. There's got to be a spot for it. We can just move you. Nuclear power plant inbound. Cool, perfect. I don't like it though. I don't like the spot that it's in. Ooh, this is actually, I would say this is good enough. And then we can simply build a road all the way down to here. Perfect. Okay. Now we just need to make sure that we're actually producing aluminum, which I'm not sure if we are. Are we? No, we have two aluminum, two uranium mines or deposits that we can activate here. So let's go ahead and set this all up for goods. Quick build both of them. Press play, max out the budgets. Cool. So that should work out rather quite well for us. And let's go ahead and build up a second... Oh, the trading post. I always forget about this. I don't really want to do it because I don't want to trade goods to superpowers, so... we're just going to be importing stuff and then just selling to the open market. And from the last attempt at this episode, I know for a fact that we have oil wells over here, so let's go ahead and set that on up. Let's max out the budgets there. Perfect. Oil, finally we get that done. We just need to produce more oil. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Fracking, post, increases efficiency and pollution. Go ahead and get both of those coiled. Decreases consumption of the deposit to only 80%. That's actually really good. What about your upgrades? Anything good? Increases production rate. Let's do that. I would do laser drilling, but we'd have to use a bunch of electricity to get all the way over there, and probably not worth it. Let's max out the budget on the nuclear power plants. How's our college looking? Anyone graduate yet? No. Well, hopefully pretty soon they do. We are rolling in money. It's kind of crazy. Let's just make sure all of these buildings are not. We just gotta make sure that they're not like consistently overfilled. Nuclear power plant. Let's actually build up on a trading post, but let's do like, we can do, what is this, 4-hole warehouses? Let's do that. A lot of money, but we have a lot of money, so what we can now do is start holding stuff like the uranium in, allow storage. We could get all the upgrades. Let's do high-rise racks for all of them at least. And then I actually want to keep all of the uranium on the island. Let's turn that off. Let's keep all the pineapples on the island as well as bananas, because I believe...
El Presidente fought the deadly computer worm that attacked on Wednesday and emerged victorious. The internet is safe again. We are in your debt, leader.
So fish, pineapples, and bananas. I'll make sure all of those are turned off. Fish, pineapples, bananas. Pineapples, bananas, we just need fish. Cool. So we can go into this one and do fish, pineapples, and bananas. Pineapple. Fish. Bananas. Cool. So there's that. Fish, pineapples, bananas.
Presidente, my friend, your cheap oil is ruining my profits. Do you deliberately provoke me for reasons known only to yourself?
Ah, I feared as much. Such is global politics. And so I must invade your ridiculous banana plantation and have you shot. I will be very sad. You have as long to prepare as it takes me to find a gentleman of flexible morality who has weaponry to sell. Interesting.
The plan's working perfectly, Presidente. Here's your first payday. Whoa, we're gonna be rich. Or dead. And rich.
I'm super grateful for your help in annoying these global imbeciles, so I've set it up so funds are automatically routed to your Swiss bank account each time your island survives a raid. It's untraceable. Just dodge the bullets and make it rain. In this mission, you will get Swiss money as reward for fighting off attacks from superpowers. The amount is based on the individual strength of each wave of attack. Interesting, so this seems quite cool. Let's go ahead and spend a bit of money on, first and foremost, let's build up this, and then let's do thinking a bunch of military buildings like that, and then to kind of complete the look of it, let's do something like this. Cool. I like the way this is all looking. Let's quick build literally all of this. Let's max out the budget on all of these, max out the budget on this. Reactive armor, 20k. And then let's do motorized infantry for these. Special training, 35,000. Let's spend it. Engage attackers, engage attackers, engage attackers, engage attackers. Cool. So now, how's that looking like? Lots of vacant jobs. So foreign forces are attacking. Well, they're coming down here to destroy our mine. Oh, whoa, where'd you guys come from? Spawned out of nowhere. These guys are dead, 100%. I mean, in the very least, our squads are really good. So they're probably going to do quite a bit of damage before they inevitably die, but that's really cool. They're getting the commando buildings like upgrades on top of arsenals upgrades. Look at that, they wiped out a squad. Like 1v3. I would say they did pretty darn good. Oh, look at the army come. And we're still making profit, I think. Hopefully we're not losing too much money each month with all of this. Oh, I don't even know how much money we're losing a month. Ah, I don't want to look. Let's just hope things are okay.
It's going great, Prez, but I need a bigger market if I'm to maximize profits. Let's take on China. I can't see how that could go wrong.
China wants to maximize profits too, and a little market manipulation should break through that inscrutable veneer. Let's really into cars right now, or they're really into cars right now. A little cyber trickery to hike the prices, then you can leak the evidence. The perfect crime. Have a cyber operations center, complete the market manipulation export raid. Cool. So our squads just wiped them, which is pretty cool to see. How much money are we making here? 62,000. So I don't think that we're going to expand too much more than this, but I think we're going to go ahead and end our episode here today. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like. And if you want to follow along with the rest of this 100% series, all sorts of really cool stuff happening on the channel lately, then be sure to subscribe. Peace.